What is up? We finally got you a CDM centre mid build. It's from Hobnob. He played 275 games on FIFA 20 without losing in pro clubs. So he kind of knows what he's on about in this position. I'm going to show you his build, his traits. Obviously, you don't set up as a CDM. You're going to find out. You want to be a right back. And don't forget to check out any of our other build videos that are linked in the top right hand corner of this video for all the positions you could need on pro clubs. You can catch us on stream tonight. Ring that notification bell. Let's get into looking at Hobbs' build. His link is in the description for his Twitter if you want to ask him any questions. I'm sure he'll welcome it. Okay, so all that being said, Connor's build is a 5'8" right back and £119. If you've seen our other builds, we always recommend going under that £120 weight. 5'8", you want to be on the smaller side of that, and sometimes he even goes down to 5'6". So this is really just completely subjective, as all builds are, but you do want to be on the slightly smaller end of 5'8" if you're going to go a little bit taller on this FIFA. Again, you want to be set up as a right back. Your stats are just way better than they are in CDM. It sounds weird, I know, but trust me. Now we get into the traits, and this is really subjective. There's a few things that you can change around depending on your play style and depending on what formation you're using. The skill tree I'm showing you now gives you an idea of what Connor uses, but occasionally he will take off, say, second wind at the start in the physical and put it into that extra slide tackling to get +3. Again, if you're more of a ball playing centre mid, maybe up your passing stats in the passing tab, but for Connor, he's really there to break up play. He's got obviously the weak foot in, 4-star weak foot. That's really difficult this FIFA. You obviously want all these pace ones as well. With them adding new skill traits, right? They've added traits that weren't in the game before, but keeping the skill point max total at 110, it's made it difficult to get everything you really need. He can't get a 5-star weak foot because he's going to have to put 16 points into shooting, including finishing, long shots, shot power, and I mean, Connor really just never shoots. You'll see in the clips coming up what I'm saying. His job is to sit there, break up the play. If a defender gets pulled out of position, he fills in and he intercepts. So he's really not going to want to be putting 16 skill points into a 5-star weak foot. He sacrifices 9 to get a 4-star because you're going to want at least a 4. We're going to see how this FIFA plays out. Maybe he has to get a 5. So far, it's not been too much of an issue, but we will be finding out. Connor, as I said, doesn't play with too many passing or dribbling, anything like that. So at the moment, he's prepping second wind. But occasionally, he might take that off and he might throw it into the slide tackling and up his strength just to get those stats as high as they want. Again, we're still finding our feet with this game. We're not really sure yet how useful second wind trait is. On previous FIFAs, I think it's been fairly essential personally to use. I'm not using it for my striker build. Those of you who have seen my striker build know I'm not using it for the first time. I mean, this here, slide tackle advanced focus, I'd probably recommend checking this one on. But the traits are really subjective. As long as you get the basics down, you need to get some dribbling in there. If you're not a skiller, then that's actually good for this build because obviously you're going to save a lot of skill points when you don't need to touch flair or the skill points traits. And you obviously want to have a lot of pace in this centre mid because you're going to be trying to keep up with 5'3", 5'4", 5'5" strikers that are going to have like 95, 96 sprint speed acceleration. And if you are like 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot, it's going to be harder when those strikers do get in behind the slow CPUs for you to make any attempt at catching them. The passing traits, again, are completely subjective. If you are playing more of a centre mid role and you do pass the ball a little bit more and defence isn't your strong point, whack some passing in there. Why not? But for Connor and for what we need, because you guys know we set up with 2 strikers, a cam and a CDM, and the CDM's job is really to defend. He rarely gets involved in the attacks except for just sort of launching them from a deep pass. So he doesn't really need to have 95 passing across the board. You guys are going to have to give this a try yourself. Copy what you see on screen. I'd probably go with the slide tackling over the second wind so far because in centre mid maybe you don't have to do that much sprinting around as long as you can manage your positioning well. And focus in a second on the clips we get into. It's from one game, okay? And they're really highlighting how good Connor is at playing CDM. I mean, this guy has gone 275 wins and 0 losses in a pro clubs team before, playing with 3 people in CDM. So he knows what he's talking about, so let's not pretend he doesn't. I know you guys might have your opinions about his build, and that's completely fine. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but this clearly works for Connor. I mean, he nearly went 300 wins and 0 losses with it, so it's fairly effective. Give it a go. Make sure you set up as a right back. Keep that weight nice and low. Try and keep yourself fairly small. And let's get into breaking down some of the clips that Connor had in this one game last night on stream, just to show you how effective he can be. So we actually played these guys before and we beat them 1-0. It was a fairly tight game. We got a tweet about it. It was an absolute madness. But you see at the start of this clip, Connor starts and he starts the attack off for us. Now he's dropping back, and that's actually a crucial bit what he did there. I'm not going to look to replay too many clips, but I want to replay that exactly. You see as Billy pulls out our centre back, In comes Hobb to fill in that gap, and if Billy didn't make that tackle, Hobb was there to make the interception. Now again, tracking back, you want to be making sure you're obviously covering runs and helping out when your CPUs get pulled out. Again, he's filling in centre-back, he's just there, and it kind of puts the other team off, because even though we pulled the guy out of the defence, Hobb's there, and even if that cross had made it in, he's in that centre-back position. Right now, again, just showing you some of the intercepting work from Connor, but I really do want you to pay attention to when Billy pulls out a player in defence as the any, Connor's there to cover it, and even if like nothing comes of it and Billy manages to get the ball from his tackle, Connor alone being there saves us dozens of times a session, because he's there as that extra man dropping in, and if he wasn't, on clubs with the amount of runners and the amount of pace, it's really easy to get in. Again, you know, Billy does the groundwork here, but there you go, Connor's there to sweep up and recycle the play, and if he wasn't, you never know, the tackle might have been for nothing and we can go again and attack. In the middle of the park, Connor's been massively important to us, well, 52-0 at the moment. Again, just sitting off, letting Billy do the pressing, and it's all you need to do. It really is. So it looks easy on paper, but obviously you've got to give it a go yourself to see how hard it can be. Just filling in there, letting Billy do all the work and pass it up to us, we get the easy goal. And if anything was to go wrong, Connor was there to obviously tidy up. Positioning, practice to playing centre mid, CDM is absolutely everything. I mean, you just got to try your best to track the runner that you think they're going to pass to. I know I sound a little bit like Michael Owen, but it is really that basic. There, it's all about decision making. He comes out, he makes a tackle. If he came out there and we didn't get the ball from him, maybe we would have been in trouble, but we're 6-1 up, so he knows, okay, we can afford to start make a little bit more of a risk and go for some balls rather than just sitting deep. Again, he's there as the extra defender to cover. It's more than just playing in a midfield role and passing the ball. Like I said to you earlier about skill points and traits, he's rarely using any passing stats, as you can see, so putting passing speciality on for him would be a real waste in my opinion. And second wind, again, is up for debate, because at the moment he's trying it out, but maybe we go on as he levels, his stamina increases, and he goes, do you know what, I do finish the game with like a little bit of stam, and I don't really need to waste all the skill points, like 9 skill points going down to that route. Also, playing in CDM is about identifying what the other team's game plan is. This team we had played before, and it was a 1-0 win, but they crossed the ball a lot. Like, we beat them 1-0, they constantly crossed the ball. They started off this game instantly crossing, so we kind of knew how they were going to play, and from a lot of these clips, you'll see Connor's just kind of trying to stop them run down the channel. When they're trying to run down the channel or break away, Connor's there just like this, and then what a shot. I mean, what a hit that is. But you know what I'm saying. He's there to break up the attacks, try and stop them getting down that wing, and it's worked a lot of this game. Sometimes you can't do anything, you know, like you lose the ball in midfield there and you have to cover, but he's in the right position here, just watching that guy on the right-hand side, keeping on him, and yeah, nothing happens, and that's really it. I mean, I think that's a pretty impressive CDM game from one game alone in Div 2, Div 1 Pro clubs. Give it a try, let us know if it works for you. Please do drop a like on this video. I'm going to show you a few clips that I found really enjoyable, really funny from last night's stream to roll out the rest of this video. The support has been absolutely ridiculous, like I said in the intro, so make sure you subscribe. Check out our other builds on the channel. There's a playlist popping up in the top right for cam, striker. We're going to have a centre-back and a goalkeeper coming soon. Let's get into the rest of those stream highlights at 52-0-0. That was the worst goal I've ever seen.
Is that a pro keeper by any chance?
I don't know what's just happened. I don't know what's just happened. Yeah, Mark,
That's his response.
He's just growled at you, Gumba.
No words.
Look at that shit! Look at that!
No words, just many noises.
You know, I think you could take Billy's place, man. I think he'll step aside. I just think you enjoy it so much that I think Billy should step aside.
Yeah, no, like, oh my. Yourself game. Why does that not work right now?
Johnny, so let me tell you about the lines on the edge of the pitch. They basically
I will get pushed over the edge tonight. Shut your face.
The lines indicate the end of play. Like, you're not allowed to run out of the lines, Johnny.
Oh, flickers.
Huge from the big man.
Score the
What a goal. Let's go. I was going to miss.
I was so kick that over the bar. I was like, I could see this going.
Oh,
big save.
Can they get a fifth?
Oh.
I'm getting scream. I'm getting scream.
So,
explain to me how that.
So we'll see you on PS5.
Oh my God. We got to score. Connor, we got to score.
Play it. Thank you.
Look at that. No! If only you had lanky toes.
Got any match analysis from you, mate?
The game is so fucking stupid.
I got 4 goals. I
I'm
can't do much
genuinely
more than score 4 goals.
So, emergency meeting.
Emergency meeting. Johnny, Any, how is it going?